Hi there, welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. You know that random thought you get when you're busy minding your business? In this case, I was thinking about food. Now, have you ever stopped to wonder where our natural produce comes from? I'm talking about your yams, green bananas, cassava, sweet potatoes, and even fruits. If it weren't for our farmers, we would hardly have fresh food to eat. So, why this thought and why now? You guessed it, April is Farmers Month, and we want to take this time to thank all our farmers who dedicate their time and livelihoods to providing fresh and nutritious foods for our nation.
I want to tell the farmers thank you, that we truly appreciate all they do. They give tremendous service and they are in fact everyday heroes. They get up and ensure that we have food on our table, and were it not for a farmer, we wouldn't be eating. So oftentimes we may take it for granted, but we want the farmers to know that we're the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, that we do not take them for granted, and we're here to support them. So we will continue to roll out our activities to support our farmers during this month and the entire year. They know that rather the AIC, the NIC, all the agencies of the ministry is there to support them, but my only message is really thank you for all you do.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is your JS News for Wednesday, April 9, 2025. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is assuring the nation that there is no cause for alarm regarding water quality in Kingston and St. Andrew. It also affirms that no boil water advisory has been deemed necessary. The Ministry is responding to recent confirmation that some water samples from systems operated by the National Water Commission (NWC) tested positive for E. coli. It says such occurrences are not unusual, particularly during drought conditions, after breakage in pipelines, heavy rainfall, or other environmental contamination events. However, when there are such instances, the Ministry of Health says it initiates an investigation through its established protocols to determine the cause, assess the extent of contamination, and guide the necessary corrective actions. Providing clarity on when a boil water advisory is issued, it says this is done when there is an imminent risk of waterborne disease and typically applies to a specific geographic area affected by compromised water supply systems. Boil water advisories are localized and not parish-wide, except in the case of major natural disasters such as hurricanes, flooding, or earthquakes that significantly impact water quality. The ministry says it continues to monitor the situation closely and remains committed to ensuring the safety and well-being of all citizens. Major crimes continue to trend downwards, with an 18.3% decline between January 1 and April 5 when compared to the same period in 2024. This reflects 208 less incidents. A further breakdown shows over 35% fall in murders and a 26% drop in shootings. A significant decline was registered for rape and a marginal 7.9% for robberies. Break-ins, however, went up by 26.5%. Responding to the positive outcome for the country, Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon says the Commissioner of Police has confirmed that this is the highest decline in murders in more than 25 years.
He highlighted that the first quarter of 2025 marks the sixth consecutive quarters in which murders have declined. Commissioner Blake also noted that the first quarter also saw the most significant drop in major crimes we've seen since 2001. And these reductions are a result of continued investment in intelligence-led policing, technological upgrades, and strategic partnerships.
Minister Morris-Dixon was speaking earlier at the weekly post-cabinet press briefing. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has described the newly introduced rural school bus system as a transformational step in improving student transportation across Jamaica. Speaking at the official launch on Monday, Dr. Holness highlighted the integration of modern technology and a robust supervisory framework designed to ensure the safety and well-being of students.
But it will also bring a level of decency and standardization to our students. And it will also improve our students' performance at school. Not having the distractions, not having the discomfort and the inconvenience, the late arrivals, the exposure to all kinds of deviant behavior and fights.
Under Phase 1, 50 buses will be procured by early June to commence refurbishing work. These will be put into service at the start of the new school year in September 2025. Each bus carries a price tag of $7.5 million. Speaking at this morning's post-cabinet press briefing, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz expressed confidence in the initiative, noting that the dedicated service would offer students a much safer alternative to regular public transportation.
This is not a business opportunity for the government. This is a moral responsibility of any well-thinking government to finally address this decade-old problem. You just think what these buses will do with a driver that is cleared by the security forces, that is trained by the JUTC, that has a cashless system, so the part students swipe and the parents load up the card for the concessionary rate for the children, and an app where you can track the bus.
The new school bus system will be jointly operated by the Ministries of Education and Transport. A delegation of investors from Chile are expected to visit Jamaica in May to pursue trade and investment opportunities. Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce Senator Aubin Hill made this disclosure while speaking at the opening ceremony for Expo Jamaica 2025. It follows a recent visit to Chile by the minister and a delegation. In addition, Minister Hill says discussions have been held with investors from the Caribbean, including one of the biggest conglomerates in the region, with strong interest being expressed.
We're positioning ourselves as an investment destination for financial services, logistics, skilled labor, high-value services, and premium products. The Andrew Holness administration has made it our mission to make Jamaica a very attractive place in this region in which to do business. Our macroeconomic numbers tell a clear story.
Over the past 18 months, Minister Hill has led a number of trade and investment missions overseas, taking over 100 Jamaican business people to 10 countries. He highlights that Jamaica's debt-to-GDP ratio is on a downward trend as the country continues to pay off its debt and is achieving strong and stable economic fundamentals.
This is an outstanding achievement, and the country in the Caribbean where everybody must come. Now that we're in a place where trading and tariffs are different, we have been preparing the road for our own people. Now our business people know where to go, and we're going to make sure they go to new markets because the world is changing and Jamaica is ready.
The Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information has rolled out a pilot program in several schools using artificial intelligence, AI, to assist teachers with marking students' papers. This initiative forms part of a broader push to integrate technology in the education sector. It was announced by Portfolio Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon during her contribution to the debate on the appropriation bill in the Senate, where she outlined the ministry's forward-thinking approach to education transformation.
We're actually piloting this with some of our schools to see how it works. And the interesting thing is that we, at the ministry, we can actually see the results real time. So as it marks it, we can see how the schools are doing. So that's really one example of how we're already using AI.
She says the ministry is leveraging AI and digital tools as much as possible to enhance teaching and learning outcomes. As part of this technological shift, the ministry will soon introduce a prompt engineering course, one of the most in-demand AI-related skills globally. The course, which will be offered through the Heart NSTA Trust, will be geared towards students and public servants, helping them become proficient in AI tools to work smarter and more efficiently.
We will also be producing, and during this year, the first state-of-the-art AI lab in Jamaica. Many countries are just dreaming of that. And we're partnering with the Amber Group, where developers, researchers, and students can create Jamaican-led AI solutions.
And finally, Jamaicans are being encouraged to know their constitutional and human rights and to make use of the services provided by the Office of the Public Defender to safeguard those rights. Public Defender Caroline Reed Cameron made the call while addressing a JIS think tank on Friday. She remarked that many persons were not aware of their rights.
You can't enforce a right that you don't even know that you have. Our office is there to assist you in terms of those needs, and therefore I exhort Jamaicans to familiarize themselves with their constitution, familiarize themselves with the rights that they have, each and every one, as citizens of this country. And bear in mind that our office, the doors are open to facilitate transparency and to assist you in enforcing those rights that you have.
As the Office of the Public Defender marks its 25th anniversary this year, Mrs. Reed Cameron reiterated its ongoing commitment to this work.
We are continuing to do the people's work, and hopefully with the passage of time we'll get more efficient at it with the administrative input and changes that are being made currently.
The Office of the Public Defender was established on April 16, 2000. Its functions include seeking redress for constitutional and administrative injustices and providing legal counsel where necessary, ensuring fair trials and access to justice for all. And that's it for JS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
In the event of an earthquake, it's important to know how to protect yourself no matter where you are. Whether you're driving or using a wheelchair, being prepared can make all the difference.
If you're driving, you don't go driving under your overpass, you don't go driving over a bridge, because those can be interrupted, especially if you're having a major event. Persons using wheelchair, you lock those in place. You normally lock the wheels in place, and you do the similar crouching to try to protect the most vital part of your body, which is your head.
Remember, safety is always a priority. Be prepared, stay informed, and protect yourself in times of need.
Showing love is free. So why should it be any different when people are diagnosed with a life-threatening virus? Let us make a conscious effort to end the practice of discrimination when it comes to people and their health, physical disabilities, and so on. It starts with you making that change.
Fact: HIV is no longer a death sentence.
With a treatment regime inclusive of antiretroviral drugs, an HIV-infected person can live a long, healthy, productive life.
With proper medical care, HIV viral loads can become undetectable and therefore untransmissible.
Fact: controlled HIV cannot be passed on from one person to the next.
Despite this information, fears about contracting HIV from social contact remain. And HIV-positive persons continue to face stigma and discrimination.
What we have found is that while we have treatment that is free, while we have health facilities across the country that allows services to be available and accessible, we also have our own NGO, the Jamaica AIDS Support for Life, that also provides services for people living with HIV. We still find that persons are still afraid to access the services. And this issue is related to what they think or what they perceive or what they think is real when it comes to being discriminated against. So discrimination is persons are being treated in a disrespectful way. They are being asked questions that are not necessarily relevant for the reason why they're in the space that they're in and when they're asking for services. And these are concerns that we have had over the years.
Government, through the National Family Planning Board, NFPB, intends to end this practice with the launch of its Champions for Change campaign. A constant partner is NGO, the Jamaica Network of Seropositives.
Now, as a person living with HIV for over 23 years, it wasn't easy, it's a bit challenging, but I first learned to think about me. What other persons think or perceive me to be, it really doesn't matter. Because in life, you still have challenge. You will always have challenges. You will always have persons liking you or not liking you. But at the end of the day, you still have to live. You still have to go on with life. And I try to tell persons, do not let HIV stop you from living. It's about looking at yourself and said, okay, yes, I've contracted the virus, but guess what? I am going to live no matter what. Do not let HIV stop you from doing nothing. You want to be a hairdresser, a teacher, a doctor, you can still be what you want to be in life. It doesn't stop you from accomplishing anything you want to accomplish. But what stops you is the fear of what others think. What I want people to understand is that persons living with HIV, it's your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friends. And HIV is not something for us to just look down on an individual and say, listen, because you're HIV positive, I don't want anything to do with you.
A 2019 Stigma Index survey among 509 HIV positive persons documents that the most common forms of stigma and discrimination experienced is gossip, unfair remarks, and verbal harassment.
So sometimes when you go into your office space and you hear persons speaking, they might be just talking to your friends and everything. Stop them. You don't know who is in your office. You don't know who is in the household. Be careful as to what you say and how you say it, because sometimes we're just very unkind and we say it for joke, but it's not a joke. We are hurting persons. Persons are being hurt. Persons are afraid. The sad part about it is that when it really gets to you, it becomes self-stigmatizing. And when you have someone getting up every morning and when they look in the mirror, they're not happy with who they see, that's a lot of self-stigma happening. And they are unable to function effectively.
And a lot of persons who are positive figure more or less that they can't have kids, but they can still have a family. They can get married, they can have children.
HIV status is not a big deal. Persons can manage it. When we came up with Champions for Change, we believe that truly it's time that we have full support. And what better way to get full support than to have persons championing the cause of other persons? It's your brother keeper concept. It's where you can stand up and say, listen, enough is enough. I see you bullying someone. No, stop. Stop bullying this person. It's not fair. It's unreasonable. They have not done anything wrong. Especially when it comes to your HIV status, especially when it comes to your health status.
So when a person come in, you embrace them, you show them that regardless of the fact that they may be sick, you still love them. And that is the key medicine, that you don't laugh at me and behind my back you talk me. That's not love.
It's important that I am a voice of compassion, I'm a voice of love as a medical doctor and just as a human, so that I can really speak on their behalf and kind of encourage people to show love. Very important for me is the promotion of education. I find that as much as I think people know about HIV over all these years, some people still don't remember that you cannot get it from touch, you cannot get it from hugging someone. And they only think it's from sexual intercourse. They don't remember that you can get it from a blood transfusion, or possibly you could be born to an HIV positive mother. So in educating the populace and in educating the people, they will remember to show love. Myself and other champions have been speaking to a lot of important groups that have large reach, the Scouts, the JPs, and also using our social media platforms as a method to reach out to larger audiences. Each and every one of you out there is a champion, and you should actually be that voice. You should actually stop people from troubling people, teasing people, bullying people, discriminating, and encourage love, compassion, and just again, be a brother, be a sister, be someone who truly cares for others, as HIV is not going to be transmitted to you from a hug or from a touch or from sitting beside a coworker. So let's all be that champion for change, and let's all just show love and empathy in all that we do.
Do your part. Show love, show support, don't discriminate.
Agriculture, Your Greatest Investment, is our upcoming feature, which explores the vital role of farming in Jamaica's economy. It highlights how sustainable agricultural practices can create wealth, ensure food security, and build a stronger future for generations.
Agriculture is an important economic sector, and investing in it may be a wise financial move that gives investors the chance to diversify their portfolios and earn significant returns. So, if you're looking for investment opportunities, why not consider agriculture?
Jamaica has about 200,000 hectares of land that we consider arable, meaning land that we can farm. We only need to farm about 100,000 of that in order to produce sufficiently all the staples that we need, all the protein that we need, all the vegetables and fruits that we need. Of that 200,000 arable land that we have, currently we are only farming about 31,000 hectares that is irrigated. So the provision of reliable irrigation, water, to those acreages is a big challenge. So we have about 15% of our total arable land irrigated. So if we're serious about expanding agricultural output, investments have to be made in agricultural infrastructure, particularly irrigation. So I'm pleased to say today that we have the Essex Valley and the Southern Plains irrigation projects, which are ongoing. And those two projects will bring about 5,200 hectares of land under irrigation. That will move us up to about 18% of our arable land irrigated.
We're introducing a major project that's coming for Jamaica. It's called the Southern Plain Agricultural Development Project. It involves over 2,000 acres of land that will be available to investors across a wide range of crops. We are actually looking to get more Jamaicans involved into agriculture. Food security is very important, and we're also trying to build our export markets as well. We are seeking investors both locally and overseas to enter into current agricultural production and even larger scale production. We have acreages starting from 5 acres up to as high as 300 acres that we're packaging to have investors engage in a wide range of crops, vegetables, root crops, and orchard crops. A good way to start is reaching out to AgroInvest, whether you reach out on our website. That's a great way to connect with us. From there, we can help you to build a plan around the ideas that you have for getting involved in agriculture. We have a team involved in business development. We have technical persons who are in charge of the agri-parks. And we have a market development team which will be rolling out shortly to provide linkages with persons on the agri-park, with buyers locally and in the export markets. Already we have the agri-parks. The major ones in that area are Amity Hall, Spring Plain, and Ebony Park. This development comprises what we call Ebony 2, which is going to be in St. Catherine, and that will be next to Bridgepen, and there will be Parnassus in Clarendon.
The next one is going to be the Pedro Plains, and that is going to move us steadily towards our goal of irrigating our arable lands.
AgroInvest is making a strong thrust to attract investors to the agriculture sector. And so we're ready to engage persons. We can connect you with financing, we can help you with business planning, and we can help you with technical support to grow your investment in agriculture in Jamaica.
It is proven that agricultural investment is 3 times more effective in increasing the income of the poor. So, invest in agriculture today and make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
Remember, students, coming here on campus, even returning students, your security is your responsibility. Always remember that, please. From time to time, you will have police, campus patrol, and also that's a JCF police, and also local securities. Whenever you have to take taxis to come to campus, please ensure you get a glance of the license plate numbers. I have to be practical. At some points, you might not be able to get the license plate number because of the rush going into the vehicle, but please take note of your drivers. It is very important there.
We're at the end of today's show, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. You may visit our website, jis.gov.jm, to rewatch this show or to catch up on the others we have on the site. I'm Theodore Henry, telling you thanks for watching from our production team here at the JIS.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.